afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Tuesday, March 14th.
That's right.
Pie Day.
Pie. Yeah, we missed out on the pie eating competition, but we have highlights from the morning show tradition.
And Dr. Potoff will be along, and he'll be taking your calls today.
That's right. Mark and I will let you know when it's time to call in.
But first, topping our news, the State National Guard, the rolls are dropping. What that means to their ability to respond to emergencies.
See why the school custodian at Park Elementary School in Cross Plains is a finalist for the Custodian of the Year award.
This guy's a character. And the feds want to know why they had to step in to save customers of Silicon Valley and Signature banks. Let's take a look outside. The sun was out today.
Feels good to see the sun. A little on the chilly side, but this is about, what, how many Thursdays in a row now we're going to have a change? 7 in a row?
8 or 9, 10. But this time it's rain on Thursday. Julian's in the backyard with some good news.
Yeah, that's right.
Hi, Julian.
Hey, guys, and that's right. We do have good news this go around. We have sunshine for once, and it's only 6 days until spring. So even though we are going to expect some showers heading into our Thursday, a little bit early for the spring showers that we're so used to, but we're still going to be seeing, once again, an active Thursday in our forecast for us. So we're going to get right to it. We're watching for another system to be bringing in, this time, rain going in through our Thursday morning, afternoon hours, and especially into our Thursday night. But as we transition into Friday, well, we could see some snow starting to transition itself into the upper Midwest and for southern Wisconsin itself as well. So that's one thing to be prepared for. But outside of that, enjoy the sunshine and blue skies while we have it. Taking a look at the rest of this afternoon and for the evening hours, we're going to be into those lower 30s and then sliding into the middle to low 20s for the rest of tonight. But the skies are going to stay rather clear until we reach our early Wednesday morning. Now, tonight's temperatures will be around 20 degrees in Madison, 25 for Janesville, and about 27 for Platteville. A quick brief look at our traffic. As of right now, things are smooth as we're getting started for our 4 p.m. commutes. But we'll take a look at planning out when we can expect the rain to really start to roll into southern Wisconsin in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
All right, Julian, we'll check back. Thank you. Wisconsin heavily relies on its National Guard to respond to civil unrest, natural disasters, and public health crises, but the Guard says their force is in jeopardy.
Following a nationwide trend, recruitment is facing historic lows. Tahlil Moeddin took a look at the numbers, and she joins us now with more. Tahlil?
Susan and Mark, leaders with the State National Guard say right now they're struggling to meet their mark. Last year, they fell 40% of their target, only enlisting 577 of the 950 they needed. Army officials say they are using a lot of tricks, both new and old, to bring people in. That's anything from community outreach in schools to offering more flexibility with drilling schedules and attendance. Lieutenant Colonel Shannon Hillenbrand says the Guard is already feeling the impact because even with fewer soldiers, the job stays the same.
They have to continue to work harder and longer, and they have to perform duties that they're maybe not necessarily trained in. So we put them in positions to be less comfortable and more stressed.
Current standard for soldiers on a mission is a 12-hour shift, but with fewer recruits, those shifts could go longer. So far this year, the Wisconsin National Guard is on pace to fall 50% short of their recruitment mission, even worse than the year prior. Tonight at 6, I'll have more on the challenges the Guard has competing with other employers for talent and what incentive the Army is still considering.
All right, we'll see you at 6 o'clock. Thank you. The Madison Fire Department says it was called to an apartment after the woman living there thought she may have accidentally left her stove's burners on after she left to run some errands. When she called up her home security app on her phone, she saw the apartment was filling with smoke and a pan on the stove was burning. She called 911 for help, and firefighters were on the scene a few minutes later. Luckily, firefighters got to the apartment before the fire spread anywhere else.
Police in the west central Wisconsin community of Independence are searching for a 16-year-old girl who hasn't been seen since Monday night. Emma Service was last seen leaving her home around 9 p.m. last night, wearing a white tank top, sweatpants, and neon shoes. She was also carrying blankets. Officials say phones that she may have had with her have remained off since she went missing, and it's unclear if anyone may be with her or helping her. In the past, she has mentioned hitchhiking to Florida. Service is being considered missing and endangered.
Well, now that the federal government has stepped in to save customers of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, the next step is finding out why the banks collapsed in the first place.
Nicole D'Antonio has more from Capitol Hill.
CBS has confirmed the Department of Justice has launched an investigation into the failure of Silicon Valley Bank. President Biden hinted at possible investigations Monday while announcing the government is guaranteeing customers will not lose their money.
There are important questions of how these banks got into the circumstance in the first place. We must get the full accounting of what happened and why those responsible can be held accountable. In my administration, no one is above the law.
The Washington Post and New York Times are reporting the DOJ is looking into the actions of senior Silicon Valley Bank executives. SVB's CEO issued a letter to customers Tuesday urging them to not only leave their deposits in the bank, but to reinvest the money they took out over the last week. The criminal investigation is one thing, but there's political fallout to the bank failure as well. And Republicans on Capitol Hill are pointing their fingers squarely at President Biden. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy tweeted that Biden's reckless spending caused record inflation and rapid interest rate hikes that broke family budgets and banks too.
Prior to the bank collapse from last week, people were anticipating a 50 basis point hike again. I think they're now anticipating more of a 25 basis point hike, and some people are actually saying by the end of the year you might start to see some interest rate cuts.
New numbers out Tuesday showed inflation is still an issue, but the February numbers are lower than they were January. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell testified last week that the Fed would likely raise interest rates higher than anticipated based off the January inflation numbers being so high.
Some analysts are predicting the Fed will still raise rates when they meet again, but it won't be as high based off the new numbers released today. Well, lawyers for Tiger Woods went to court today to fight claims from the golfer's former live-in girlfriend.
She wants to throw out a non-disclosure agreement that she signed with Woods back in 2017. Erica Herman is arguing that she should be released from the NDA, citing the Speak Out Act, which Congress passed into law, allowing exceptions for victims of sexual assault or abuse. Woods' lawyers say Herman is not a victim of sexual assault or abuse, and her position is meritless. They also point to a previous court filing where Herman checked no when asked, does this case involve allegations of sexual abuse?
Question is really what Erica Herman comes back with if she's able to specifically allege allegations here that would potentially trigger the law. We don't know how specific the judge is going to require that she be.
Woods and Herman parted ways last fall, and shortly after, Herman sued Woods for $30 million, claiming that his agents had her pack for a trip and then permanently locked her out, breaching an oral agreement over living arrangements. Woods denies they had an agreement.
Well, this just in within the past few minutes, a Green Bay Packers mainstay is headed to New York soon. But it's not the name many people have been anticipating. The New York Jets have reportedly signed Packers wide receiver and favorite target of Aaron Rodgers, Allen Lazard. ESPN is saying Lazard has agreed to a 4-year contract worth more than $40 million. The interest in Lazard could be part of the Jets' plan to try to convince Rodgers to join the team as he continues to weigh his future options. A school custodian at Park Elementary School in Cross Plains has been named a finalist for the 2023 Custodian of the Year Award.
Randy Esser is in his 58th year with the school and will win $45,000 if he wins the contest. Our Andrew Banstra talked to him today and has the story. Andrew?
Yeah, Randy Esser, or as he's known at school, Mr. Peanuts, has roots that run deep at Park Elementary. Before the school was even built, he was farming on the land that it sits on today. He tells me in 1961, when it was built, he became the custodian at the school, and he's been there ever since. But he's also more than that to students. He's created many after-school programs to shape young minds, and for decades, he's taught financial literacy to students, helps kids find jobs, and works closely with special needs students.
Gives me a good feeling that I'm giving back to the kids with that, and I like to find a need and see if I can do something about it to make their life better.
He shows up at 5 a.m. to shovel and stays after school to mend the minds of the next generation. The 83-year-old says he has no plans to retire. You can join us at 5 to hear Mr. Peanut's inspirational story and to find out how you can vote for this local legend.
Mr. Peanut, he came with the land. All right, Andrew, thank you. We'll see you at 5. Well, nobody likes a backseat driver, but everybody wants to keep them safe.
When we come back, for the first time, backseat passengers in mid-sized SUVs are subject to crash testing. We'll have the results for you when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Vitense Golfland offers 2 golf and multi-sport simulator suites. Play great golf courses with unmatched viewing clarity. Play different sports such as football and soccer. Have fun with Zombie Ball. Vitense Golfland provides simulator fun for everyone.
Mad City, a division of Renuity, the local service you deserve, now backed by unmatched national strength. We are Wisconsin's #1 ranked remodeler, and with cabinet refacing, we can transform the entire look of your kitchen in as little as 2 days. In addition to our lifetime warranty, Mad City offers a price lock guarantee. Once you receive a free design consultation, we'll lock your price in and guarantee it for 1 year, no matter what. Plus, call now during our Spring into Savings event. Receive $1,500 off a cabinet refacing project with 48 months, 0% interest, senior and military discounts. Plus a bonus, the first 50 homeowners who call now will receive a vacation voucher with purchase of a cabinet refacing project. Use it for a condo, hotel stay, or a cruise. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call 608-298-5383. That's 608-298-5383.
Hello, I'm Roman Ryan of Ryan Funeral Homes. As a locally owned and operated funeral home, it's important to know that not all funeral homes are the same. Some other Madison area funeral homes are actually owned by corporations based outside of the United States. A corporately owned funeral home is focused on the bottom line, making services more costly. We have served local families for more than 80 years, and our priority is investing in the community and your family. In your time of need, Ryan Funeral Homes are here for you.
I'm Fernando, live outside of Boston. I've been with Consumer Cellular for 5 years. Consumer Cellular gives you all the same features that these big companies give you. What you get for the cost is remarkable. Why would you pay more money?
Why would you pay more when you can get unlimited talk and text with a flexible data plan starting at just $20 a month?
I think they should raise their prices.
Sorry, Fernando. Our prices are staying low. So switch today and save. Call or go online.
New iVisia Dry Eye Drops. Made with hydrating polymers, moisturizing hyaluronic acid, and revitalizing trehalose to reduce dryness, discomfort, and strain. iVisia. We see a better way.
For back pain, I've always been a take 2 and call in the morning guy. But my new doctor recommended Salonpas. Without another pill upsetting my stomach, I get powerful, effective, and safe relief. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
Vitense Golfland offers a free Top Tracer golf range experience. Obtain valuable shot information with warm-up, track your shot history with My Practice, play virtual golf, long drive, points game, go fish. Only at Vitense Golfland.
The Environmental Protection Agency is proposing new regulations to make drinking water safer.
The EPA announced today that under the proposed regulations, water systems would have to monitor for 6 specific forever chemicals, also known as PFAS. Those are synthetic chemicals that linger in the environment and the human body and can cause serious health problems. The water systems would also have to notify the public about the levels of PFAS in the water and work to reduce them if they go above the standard allowed. A troubling new study shows the mortality rate for children and teens surged in the U.S. in 2020 and 2021.
Pediatric deaths were up nearly 11% in 2020 and more than 8% the following year, the largest annual increases in decades. The study found the increase in mortality was driven not by deaths from COVID, but by injuries from things including firearms, drugs, and cars. COVID mortality rates doubled in children between 2020 and 2021. The study authors say firearms played a central role, accounting for nearly half of the increase in mortality.
President Biden is facing backlash from environmentalists over his approval of a massive oil drilling project in Alaska. It's a major reversal after he promised no more drilling on federal lands. This decision is a complete reversal from the stance then candidate Biden took more than 3 years ago at a campaign stop in New Hampshire.
No more drilling on federal lands, period, 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 period.
Instead, the approval of the multi-billion-dollar Willow project will allow oil giant ConocoPhillips to operate 3 drill sites on federal land in Alaska's North Slope. Leases to drill in the region were approved in the 1990s, so the company may have standing in court if the Biden administration were to try to block the drilling at all. The Interior Department says this plan blocks ConocoPhillips' initial plan of also drilling in 2 other spots. Officials say oil from the project would produce roughly 239 million metric tons of greenhouse gas over 30 years, about the same as emissions from 1.7 million cars in the same amount of time.
The cost of everyday items remains very high, but measures to solve the problem could be put on hold because of issues in the banking industry. A new report from the Bureau of Federal Labor Statistics shows food prices are up more than 10% in the past year. Rents are marching higher, and utilities like electricity and gas jumped more than 13%. The higher costs are hitting restaurants hard. Overall inflation increased 6% in February. Historically, it's a big annual increase, but less than the 6.4% number in January.
The takeaway from this report is that prices are decelerating, but they remain high.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates to cool inflation, and Chairman Jerome Powell recently told Congress more hikes, as we mentioned, would be coming. Economists had expected a 1/4 or even a 1/2 point increase when the board meets next week, but that was before the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank and the New York-based Signature Bank.
Regional bank stocks rebounded, though, sending the market higher. The Dow Industrials added 336 points, closing at 32,155. The Nasdaq up over 2%, gaining 239 points. The S&P 500 up 64. Well, safety experts are putting mid-size SUVs to the test to see how those vehicles protect passengers in the backseat.
Christian Benavides reports.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety sent 13 mid-size SUVs crashing into a barrier at 40 miles per hour. All of them received good marks for protecting the driver in the front seat, but that changed when analysts looked at the back seat. Of the 13 vehicles tested, only 4 models earned good ratings for protecting rear passengers.
That's more or less what we expected.
Raul Arbeláez is vice president of the Vehicle Research Center at IIHS and says the team anticipated those results because this is the first time they've analyzed backseat safety in this class.
We added this test because we have seen both in real-world data and in our crash tests that protection really could be improved in the rear seat.
According to the IIHS, the risk for fatal injury is 46% higher for people in the back of the vehicle.
It's not that the backseat has gotten more dangerous, but restraint technologies have improved in the front.
What is the difference between the protection for the driver than it is for the rear passenger?
One of the things we've seen for many years is protection getting better and better for front seat occupants. We've seen airbags and better seatbelts and improved structure.
He says the safety technology is available to improve the back seat.
With advanced seatbelts and better placement of, say, the anchor points of those seatbelts, we believe that safety really will reach levels that we see in the front seat.
The IIHS expects the auto industry to make those changes in future vehicles. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
So
interesting.
Calling shotgun becomes more and more important.
Right.
Well, still to come before it's off to the races. Baby races, that is.
And of course, things go off the rails. We love baby races. Jeannie Mose has the call coming up after Julian's first warn forecast.
If you're stuck between choosing to spend on a vacation or finally updating your kitchen, with Mad City Kitchens, you can do both. Our cabinet refacing services will give your kitchen a brand new look in as little as 2 days. with durable, water-resistant finishes including Cascade White, Alabaster, and Chocolate Pear. Call now for your free design consultation, and with our price lock guarantee, we'll lock your price in for 1 year. Plus, update your kitchen now during our Spring into Savings event and receive $1,500 off a cabinet refacing project with 48 months, 0% interest, senior and military discounts. And the bonus, the first 50 homeowners who call now will receive a vacation voucher with purchase of a cabinet refacing project. Use it for a condo, hotel stay, or a cruise. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call 608-298-5383. That's 608-298-5383.
Dad always said I was special, that I would do something big someday. But for a while, we were just worried about getting to tomorrow. At UW Health, we found the team that made it their mission. Not just to get me through the day, but to give me a new life and a new kidney. Now, my future is infinite. UW Health. Remarkable.
This is how legends are made.
Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all Silverado 1500 pickups. And current Chevy owners get $2,500 cash allowance on this Silverado with a turbo high-output engine. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Sexual assault of an 11-year-old. No prison time. He raped a military veteran, left her for dead. Just 2.5 years. Raped a mentally disabled 14-year-old. Probation. How the heck did this happen? Janet Protasewicz.
If you could go back in time, would you have ruled any differently? I would say no.
Really? No time in prison?
I would say no.
Protasewicz set violent criminals free. Again and again. Tell Judge Protasewicz, stop protecting criminals.
A lot of new dry eye patients in my office tell me about their frequent dry eyes, which may point to dry eye disease. Millions of Americans were estimated to have it. They also tell me they've tried artificial tears again and again, but the relief is temporary. Xiidra can provide lasting relief. Xiidra treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease.
Don't use if allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort or blurred vision when applied, and unusual taste sensation.
Why wait? Ask your eye doctor about a 90-day prescription for Xiidra today.
We'll take a look at this. Libyans from across the country gathered around a giant couscous dish in a festival to hail the national staple. The dish, 13 feet across, consists of 5,500 pounds of couscous and the meat of 5 camels. Popular in North African countries, couscous is considered one of the basic meals in all the cities of Libya. Libyans eat couscous at special events. It's made from corn wheat, cooked with meat and veggies, and eaten with a spoon or by hand.
And it's very good for you. Do you like couscous?
I like couscous.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't make it to that extent. It's like rice.
Right. I know a few of my friends who are from Northern Africa that have had it. I've just never tried it.
No, you'd like it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Good.
Well, speaking of liking it, today is March 14th. That's 3.14 if you're a math wizard.
Well, for the rest of us, that means it's our annual pie eating contest on News 3 Now this morning. Take a look.
The annual Pie Day eating contest here on News 3 Now this morning. We've got Bubba, Will, and our rookie this year. That's Pia over there from Delta Beer Lab. So 2 defending champions and 1 rookie. So we're going to see what happens.
They have a minute to eat the pie. It's a cherry pie. Wanted to pair it with the beer that we're selling.
Ashley, yes. The time is all yours.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, we're off and running right away. We've got some noises as well. Look at this. Will is already a mess. The rookie over there figuring out his stuff. Bubba has been busy. He spent the morning really stretching that stomach. Boy, Will is getting right into it. I don't really know. That doesn't look like pie anymore to me. Here we go. Ashley, countdown.
3, 2, 1, stop.
We're going to figure out who did what here.
I'll have to give it to Will this year.
Will Loper. Will Loper. You know, I hate to talk to you because I know you're trying to scarf down the rest of that pie there. But hey, this is kind of fitting because you've been around since the very beginning, 10 years for you.
Everyone loves a comeback story. An underdog. And this year, I did it. I did it! You know, next year, but cherries, I'm not a big cherry pie fan.
I did not prepare for this.
Oh, we do have to give out the trophy. Oh, boy. Your messy hands. I'm just going to do that. Yep, right there. There it is. Congratulations, Will Loper. Happy 10 years, guy. Get out, get your pie today.
Yay, Will!
Doesn't he get a pie every month? A free one a month for this thing?
Oh, he should.
I think so.
Oh, they don't do that anymore.
And trying to do a pie eating contest with a double-crusted cherry pie,
Yeah,
that's like glue.
Yeah.
That's tough. So that's why the guy had a six-pack of beer. He was washing it down.
And brought the leftovers here. Did you try some?
I missed him. I missed the pie.
All right, another pie day in the books.
Yeah, another pie day in the books. At least it was a sunny one, though, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's something to really enjoy because not a lot of sunshine left for us in the forecast. We'll talk about the changes coming for our Thursday and Friday in a few moments.
Yeah, actually, I had just standard shelves, but now they're pull-out. And so you can reach in the back of the pantry without having to guess what's behind there.
We've shown some of our neighbors and friends, you know, that have come by, and they really like our kitchen.
Mad City has more than 50,000 satisfied customers. And with cabinet refacing, updating your kitchen is fun, easy, and affordable. Add pull-out shelves, soft close doors and drawers, new countertops, and a kitchen sink. Call now. It's our Spring Into Savings event. Receive $1,500 off a cabinet refacing project with 48 months, 0% interest, senior and military discounts. Plus, the bonus, the first 50 homeowners who call now will receive a vacation voucher with purchase of a cabinet refacing project. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call 608-298-5383. That's 608-298-5383.
Two candidates for Supreme Court, two very different beliefs. Judge Janet Protasewicz, she believes women should have the freedom to make their own decisions on abortion. Extremist Dan Kelly, he supports the 1849 law that takes away women's rights and criminalizes abortion, even in cases of rape, incest, and health of the mother. So who represents you? An extremist or a common sense judge? Vote by April 4th.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
We're going to start things off with our surface map. We have a high-pressure system which is keeping things not only dry, but rather sunny throughout much of Wisconsin and in the upper Midwest. But what we're going to see over the next 24 hours and then for the end of the week are changes coming in from the west. As of right now, we have a system that's going to be bringing in milder temperatures. As we'll be seeing temperatures into the 40s and near 50 degrees for some areas, especially once we get into our Thursday. But we're going to see those southerly winds continue to pick up in intensity, which is going to be bringing in moisture and, of course, the mild weather as well. But as we see throughout the rest of what we're going to be expecting throughout the course of the next couple of days, well, there's going to be some rain showers and then potentially some snow. So let's walk through that. The rest of tonight is going to be a quiet one. Temperatures falling into the 20s and some clouds will start to develop very briefly. Tomorrow morning, 25 degrees heading out the door. Winds are going to start to pick up once we get into our Wednesday afternoon, pushing temperatures into those lower 40s. Clouds are also going to start to dominate our skies once we get into our Wednesday Wednesday afternoon, and we're not going to be seeing those really break much for the rest of our Wednesday. Heading into Thursday, you might see overnight some brief little showers that might pop up. Overall, it's going to stay dry for quite a while until we get into our afternoon, as we're going to see those temperatures climbing near 50 degrees. And then for our friends to the far northwest, we're starting to see some developments of rain that's going to start to spread its way across southern Wisconsin and much of the area. Once we get to around the 3 o'clock hour, rain in itself is going to be mainly moderate throughout the course of the day. The showers will be much more expanded once we get to the 5 p.m. commute. So expect when you're picking up the kids on Thursday and when you're driving home from work, it is going to be a rainy one for us throughout the rest of the day. Now you can take notes, our friends to the far west and the northwest, where the temperatures are just near the freezing point or a bit colder. That's where we're going to see that line of rain and snow starting to mix, and the snow in itself that will start to take over once we get into our late Thursday night and heading into our Friday as well. So we could see some snow showers heading into our Friday as that cold front starts to sweep its way into the rest of the upper Midwest, bringing our temperatures back into the upper 20s and lower 30s, and could see some snow as well. Here's how much rain we're going to be expecting, though. Looking about a half to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall, especially around Madison, but much of southern Wisconsin, especially the more north you are from Dane County, is looking for mainly the same kind of rain totals. However, the further south that you are, 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch is what we're expecting as of right now. So here's our breakdown of the 3 things you'll need to know. 40s for our Wednesday and for Thursday. Scattered rain on Thursday, so make sure you have your rain gear, but then prepare for Friday to possibly see some snow showers. Not looking forward to accumulate too much. If anything, maybe minor amounts, but overall things are going to get cold once again, but it's going to be very brief, folks, because next week we are looking to welcome in not only spring, but temperatures that are going to be in the 40s as well. So as we see, a bit of a roller coaster ride once again, but that's pretty typical for us here in Wisconsin, especially as we get into March. Temperatures rise to the 40s, drop into the 30s, maybe even to the upper 20s as we get into our Saturday. Then heading into the back end of the weekend, we're slowly starting to warm back up into the upper 30s for Sunday. Then next week, Monday will be the start of spring, and then we're going to be feeling like Wisconsin spring as well. Middle to upper 40s, lower 50s heading into Thursday and Friday, and our spring showers.
So no snow to worry about on Friday, not down here anyway.
Not like accumulating, could cause a little bit of slowness on the roads, but overall not looking for it to accumulate too much.
Keep thinking, okay, is this the last one? Is this going to be the last one? We're going to turn the corner here quickly, and after this rain, hopefully it'll green things up a little bit.
Hopefully. Yeah. We just need some more sunshine, some warmer weather at this point, so we can finally feel like spring.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We'll get there. Don't worry.
Well, infants may move at a crawl, but the crowd still got a thrill as babies took to the basketball court at the University of North Carolina.
This is such a great idea. We should do this locally. Jeannie Mose has more on what may have been the most intense baby race ever.
Are you ready? It was a baby race that had pulses racing. Parents were psyched. Babies were wide-eyed.
Crawl, babies, crawl!
And they're off. It was halftime at a University of North Carolina basketball game. Lila instantly took the lead, continued towards someone else's mom instead of her dad.
But she's gone to another parent. Lila's gone to a different house.
Lila was so stinking cute. I mean...
And that's coming from one of Lila's rivals. Lila made it just inches from the finish, but stopped dead, despite pleas from the announcer.
Lila, please don't touch it.
Another contestant made his move to pass Lila, then plopped down, even bopped a bit, and finally turned the wrong way. No wonder some considered this the most intense baby race ever. And then Lila did the unthinkable. And just as she reversed course, a dark horse entered the fray. Is she a fast crawler?
Well, funny enough is she only started crawling maybe a week and a half before that baby race.
9-month-old Brexley Dennick's strategy was to start slow. So slow, her dad had to throw his watch down the court in hopes she'd follow. It worked. And once Brexley got going...
She just doesn't give up, which is great. And I hope she can keep doing that for the rest of her life.
To lure her over the finish, Brexley's mom did what most of the other parents tried, waving the phone. All that crawling earned the winner a $529 check for her future education fund. But this was itself an education on how we're all doomed to end up on our knees looking for our phones the rest of our lives. Jeannie Merce, CNN, New York.
Well, that is precious.
The phone. Always whip out the phone.
Oh, my gosh. All right, well, coming up next year on Live at 4, Consumer Reports helps us know when and when not to throw out those electronic boxes.
And then coming up next hour at 5, sweeping moves from the feds today, a proposal to significantly limit the level of PFAS in our drinking water. Our Catherine Merck explains what this means for Wisconsin, coming up at 5.
If your kitchen needs a facelift, don't replace, reface. Call Mad City Kitchens for cabinet refacing. Avoid the lengthy remodel, stay under budget, and transform your kitchen in as little as 2 days. Choose your favorite colors, add new hardware, soft close doors and drawers, a Lazy Susan, and more. Back to the lifetime warranty. Mad City will give your kitchen a brand new look for less. Ask about our price lock guarantee. And don't wait, it's our Spring into Savings event. Receive $1,500 off a cabinet refacing project with 48 months, 0% interest, senior and military discounts. And last chance to call during this program, the first 50 homeowners will receive a vacation voucher with purchase of a cabinet refacing project used for a condo, hotel stay, or a cruise. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call 608-298-5383. That's 608-298-5383.
Brothers Maine has been family-owned since 1938. Some of us were born into this family, and others chose to join through the years. We know you can't replace family, but you can replace appliances, and Brothers Maine is here for you when one breaks down. Our in-house team has delivered ranges to washers to refrigerators to hectic households in a pinch, oftentimes the next day. Just because an appliance breaks down doesn't mean you have to. We're not big box, we're Brothers Maine, and we want you to feel like family here.
Remember this, and the false elector scheme. In Wisconsin, extremist Dan Kelly was the right-wing lawyer behind the scenes of it all. The bipartisan January 6th Commission revealed Kelly advised Trump operatives as special counsel to overturn the will of the people and overthrow the election results. Kelly even went on tour promoting the big lie. On April 4th, vote like democracy depends on it, because it does.
New at 5, state lawmakers want to require school districts like Madison to bring back school resource officers. We break down the proposal and what it means locally.
Temperatures will begin to rise overnight, and it'll be mild for Wednesday and Thursday. A storm system will bring rain on Thursday. It'll change to snow as it turns sharply colder on Friday. At 5, I'll let you know if we'll see any snow accumulations.
And ahead at 6, the EPA is setting new standards for forever chemicals in our water. We share what local environmental experts have to say about the requirements tonight at 6.
Giving the weather satellite a spin, we end up in Torrington, Connecticut. They're getting hit by that big nor'easter. 34 degrees, snowing.
A lot of snow on the East Coast.
Good for them. Well, with the closet and other storage space tight for many of us, the last thing we want is for a room to be taken up by something we don't even need. Or do we need it?
We're talking about all of those boxes and packaging that you get from electronics. Is it okay to get rid of those boxes?
Shane Hogan offers some tips to help you decide when to hold them and when to fold them.
CR Deputy Tech Editor Chris Raymond has been buying electronics for decades.
One of the first electronic items I remember buying was a clock radio with a cassette player built into it.
Along with decades of tech came stacks of boxes, reminders of bygone gadgets.
You could probably go into any room in the house and open a closet door or look, tuck in one of the corners and you'll find a box tucked there for a laptop or a speaker or a telephone.
So next time you make a tech purchase, should you save the box? CR says there are some times when it's a no-brainer to hang on to a box, at least for a little while, like when there's a chance you might return it. Depending on where you bought it, you may not get a full refund without the original packaging. So it may be worth keeping during the 14 to 90-day return window, especially for expensive electronics. Another time to hold on to the box?
If it's an item that you think that you might resell, people are much more likely to buy it when it's in the box.
CR also says keeping the box while the manufacturer's warranty is in effect might make it easier if you have to send an item back, though most will accept an item for repairs in any box. Also a good idea, saving the box to store a device that you may not use every day or to keep track of its extra parts like a battery or a cord.
That helps you, you go back and find them, but it also helps you remember what that cord goes to, right?
If none of these apply, CR says feel free to get rid of that box. To help you keep the boxes you're storing from taking over your home, consider the 1-to-1 rule. When you get a new device and need to keep the box, get rid of an old one. This is Shane Hogan.
And when it comes to storing the boxes themselves, CR says if you can't flatten the box for storage, consider nesting smaller boxes into larger ones.
Good tip.
Do you keep boxes?
No, I'm a minimalist. I get rid of everything.
I have boxes from my first VCR.
Do you have shoe boxes too?
No, I don't really. I do say boxes though.
You do? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean,
if you want to resell it?
You'll always have it, see, and I never will, so that's probably the boxes. Yeah, someplace in the middle is where you want to be.
Up next, UW Health's Dr. Jeff Potoff has some spring break travel health tips.
He's also taking your medical questions live. If you have a question for Dr. Potoff, call now, 608-270-9933. We'll take your calls when we come back.
Is no in your vocabulary?
No.
No isn't a thing at Bergstrom Automotive.
Can I park my helicopter in your lot?
Yes!
Perfect.
You've been told no before? Join the Bergstrom Automotive family for the yes. Bergstrom, for the yes.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Give any room a fresh look with Mohawk Tile. Mohawk features ceramic, porcelain, and mosaic glass tiles to fit any decor. Pick up Bloomfield Hexagon tiles for only $139 each after 11% rebate. Complete your tiling job with professional installation products from Tech. Unique Power Grout formula is highly stain resistant and never needs sealing. Power Grout is only $18.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
A lot of new dry eye patients in my office tell me about their frequent dry eyes, which may point to dry eye disease. Millions of Americans were estimated to have it. They also tell me they've tried artificial tears again and again, but the relief is temporary. Xiidra can provide lasting relief. Xiidra treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease.
Don't use if allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort or blurred vision when applied, and unusual taste sensation.
Why wait? Ask your eye doctor about a 90-day prescription for Xiidra today.
Remember this, and the false elector scheme. In Wisconsin, extremist Dan Kelly was the right-wing lawyer behind the scenes of it all. The bipartisan January 6th Commission revealed Kelly advised Trump operatives as special counsel to overturn the will of the people and overthrow the election results. Kelly even went on tour promoting the big lie. On April 4th, vote like democracy depends on it, because it does.
I'm Lynette. This is my husband, Arthur.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe her in our 70s, huh?
I have recommended Consumer Cellular to so many people.
She was the one to convince me to come over to her side.
That's right.
Come on over to Consumer Cellular and save. AARP members get 2 lines of unlimited talk, text, and data for just $55 a month.
The coverage has been excellent.
You know, it gives us exactly what we want.
You should go with Consumer Cellular.
Switch today. Call or go online.
Hi, I'm Gary Canolti, and I'm inviting you on a holiday vacations tour. Join me as we explore classic Italy, October 7th through the 15th. Discover Tuscany's charming countryside, Venice's grand waterways, and the magnificent art of Florence. We'll also spend time in the ancient city of Rome, visiting historical landmarks such as the Colosseum and the Sistine Chapel. Visit holidayvacations.com, keyword WISC, for more information and to watch a travel show. Or call 888-557-1020 for a free brochure.
So you just bought a vehicle from us. Will we give you a week to drive it and return it if you don't love it? Yes. Love it or return it? Yes, it's that easy. You've been told no before? Join the Bergstrom Automotive family for the yes. Bergstrom for the yes.
And a quick update on our traffic as we're getting closer to the 5 p.m. rush hour. The good news is if you want to travel onto the Beltline, things are rather smooth as of right now, west and eastbound. Some of the ramps, however, especially in the more residential neighborhoods, are a bit on the slower side, but overall, things are pretty normal for this time of day. Now, taking a closer look and zooming it out of what we're going to be seeing for the rest of getting from point A to point B. From Sauk City to Middleton, we're looking at normal speeds and normal timing as of right now, 16 minutes. Janesville to the Beltline, 25, and Sun Prairie to downtown at 18 minutes. It's going to do it for our traffic update. Over to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. The next house you live in might be built by robots, at least partially. Florida excavation company Tomahawk is planning to use dump trucks that can drive themselves to help build a neighborhood in Naples. They're regular trucks that are retrofitted with technology from a California company called Teleo. While the company says full automation on construction equipment is still years away, the trucks use what is called supervised autonomy. That means the equipment can operate itself, but humans can also step in and use remote controls to help out. For now, the autonomous trucks will be used primarily for land clearing. Our days are numbered.
Right.
UW Health Chief Quality Officer Dr. Jeff Potoff is with us again today.
We're taking your calls at 608-270-9933. It's a great day to call in. The phones are wide open if you have a question for Dr. Potoff.
Doctor, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Before we take your calls, if you're planning on a spring break trip, what kind of health precautions do you need to take?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot easier this year than it was the last couple years. I think things that I encourage people to do, certainly keep up on those vaccines, just to make sure that you're not at risk for things. We talk about COVID, influenza, but also if you're traveling out of the country, there are diseases out there that we don't have a lot of experience with in the U.S. Yellow fever, typhoid, there's dengue out there. Some places have malaria. You need to prophylaxis for that. So if you are taking kind of one of those exotic trips, go ahead, look at the CDC travel site, see what they recommend, and then contact either a travel clinic or your primary care office to see if you need to get something.
We reported earlier this week that SSM Health is dropping its mandatory mask requirement at its hospitals and clinics.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Yep.
That's right. Is that something UW Health is looking into as well?
Yeah, we're certainly looking into it. I think one of the things that makes us a little different is we have a fairly large population of very at-risk patients, and the health system's been so busy, they're not just located on their units where we could say, hey, you just have to mask on this high-risk unit. So we're trying to figure out how to keep those patients safe, but also follow best available evidence on need to mask or not.
Okay, so the UW may be heading in that direction, but...
Yeah, I think our desire is not to be masked for forever, but not quite there yet.
All right, we have a caller. I'm not sure who it is, but you have a question about COVID and blood donations.
Sure.
Hi there, can you hear us?
Hi, Dr. Potoff. My name's Lonnie, and I'm calling you from Milton. And I have a question. Can people who have had COVID be blood donors and or organ donors?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. So really, there isn't any prohibition against folks who've had COVID in donating blood. Obviously, they don't want you to come in and donate blood when you're having symptoms and actively have that infection. But once you've recovered, really no prohibition on giving blood. In fact, earlier in the pandemic, we were looking for folks who had COVID to donate blood so we could harvest those antibodies and use it as a treatment for folks who came down with COVID.
So no time limit?
No, not necessarily, and same for organ donation. If you're a candidate, the transplant center would work with you so that you could be a donor.
All right, very interesting.
All
okay,
right.
let's go to, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what your name is in Sun Prairie.
Layman?
Lamin.
Lamin. Okay, nice to meet you. Go ahead with your question.
Park and Susan, I'm a big fan of you guys.
Well, thanks for calling in. What's your question?
The question is about, I'm heading to Florida here in a week, so wondering what the precaution is.
What was the question?
He's heading to Florida in a week. Any precautions you should take?
Oh, any precautions? I would say normal precautions. So you're going to want to make sure that your vaccines are up to date, especially if you haven't had COVID recently. Kind of cross off the chance of getting severe COVID while you're down in Florida. Maybe check off flu. There's still a little bit of that going around, so if you're not vaccinated from that, get that. And then ideally, just make sure you know where you would go if you were to have a medical emergency, where is the nearest emergency department. But for the most part, traveling to a place like Florida, precautions fairly minimal, relatively safe travel to Florida this year.
And if you've had 4 vaccines and the booster, are we good for now, or should you get something else if you're traveling?
Yeah, easy answer. So if you've had that bivalent booster, you're good to go. You don't need anything in additional to that as it pertains to COVID.
Okay. Let's go to Cheryl now from McFarland. Hi, Cheryl. What's your question?
I have a question in regards to the shingles vaccine. I have heard that a possible side effect with that, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, is Guillain-Barré syndrome. And I had inclusion body myositis, and I'm wondering if that would be something, that I shouldn't take because there's a possibility of that side effect.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. So there actually are a fair number of vaccines that come with a very small risk of something called Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a process where our nerves lose their insulation, typically starting in their feet. It's self-limited, it doesn't last forever, but you can get weak. Usually starts in the feet, kind of works its way up. It's exceedingly rare. So when we look at a decision to get a shingles vaccine or any other vaccine versus the risk of the side effects, the likelihood of you having something bad happen with shingles is actually a fair bit higher than the risk of you getting Guillain-Barré. And even with the inclusion body myositis, likely not a contraindication to getting that vaccine. Certainly talk with your provider and say, hey, just want to double check on this. But for the most part, getting those vaccines is much more beneficial than the odd chance you develop a complication like Guillain-Barré.
All right, let's go to Terry in Watertown. Hi, Terry, what's your question?
My question is on enzymes of the liver. What is the level that you're supposed to be at?
Sure, so I think what you're probably referring to is we have a bunch of different liver enzymes. The ones that folks are most familiar with are usually AST, ALT, there can be bilirubin, and essentially liver enzymes with mild elevation, say something over, and depending on the test you're using, these numbers could change, anything over 100, 130 can indicate mild inflammation of the liver. There's so many reasons that could happen. Viruses can do that. As you start getting higher levels of inflammation, that can suggest something else going on with the liver, sometimes cirrhosis and things like that. Elevated bilirubin can sometimes suggest obstruction of bile getting out of the liver into the intestinal tract. But really, if you have questions about your liver enzymes, best to talk with your provider, because based on your specific situation, that number may be important or it may be okay. So I would talk with your primary care doc and say, hey, help me understand my liver function tests.
Normal can be different for other people.
It's true.
All right. Doctor, thank you. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
We're done.
You bet.
Time goes by fast.
Thank you all for the next one.
Yeah.
Thank you all for calling in. Our final forecast is coming up.
This is how legends are made.
Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all Silverado 1500 pickups. And current Chevy owners get $2,500 cash allowance on this Silverado with a turbo high-output engine. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Oh no, I think I lost my debit card.
Okay, don't panic.
Don't panic, we're in a mall. Some stranger's probably tapping new shoes, tapping a washer-dryer combo, just tapping everything in sight.
It's okay, just tap your phone. With BMO, you can use your phone to freeze and unfreeze a lost card.
I can?
And you can always get a new card instantly at a BMO branch.
I got my tap back.
You ever seen someone this excited about a debit card before?
Oh yeah. Not this excited.
When a bank gives you instant peace of mind, that's the BMO effect.
Sexual assault of an 11-year-old. No prison time. He raped a military veteran, left her for dead. Just 2.5 years. Raped a mentally disabled 14-year-old. Probation. How the heck did this happen? Janet Protasewicz.
If you could go back in time, would you have ruled any differently? I would say no.
Really? No time in prison?
I would say no.
Protasewicz set violent criminals free. Again and again. Tell Judge Protasewicz, stop protecting criminals.
For back pain, I've always been a take 2 and call in the morning guy. But my new doctor recommended Salonpas. Without another pill upsetting my stomach, I get powerful, effective, and safe relief. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
State lawmakers are once again trying to require certain schools to have school resource officers after failing to pass a bill last year. We break down the proposal in the state assembly and what it could mean for Madison schools coming up.
It's a bracket battle as our News 3 Now anchors compete for the best tournament picks. Find out whose brackets get busted and who has that one shining moment. Join in the bracket battle at channel3000.com and watch when our anchors reveal their picks Wednesday on News 3 Now at
40s, rain, and possibly some snow. Those are 3 things you'll need to know. And Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti will break it all down for you coming up at 5.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy a furnace. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase a furnace and an air conditioner at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
Did you know that Wisconsin Vision offers telehealth eye exams? I just scheduled my telehealth eye exam easily on their website. Once in store, a tech helps get me started and then pre-checks my eyes. See my eye on the screen? Then I have my telehealth eye exam virtually with a licensed optometrist on the TV.
Everything looks great, Kate. You're going to love your new prescription.
Ask us about our $59 eye exam. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
It's Stop the Madness month. If your energy bills are too high, stop the madness. If your comfort is out of balance and you go straight from heat to AC, stop the madness. If you've had it with outside noise, stop the madness. Get insulated now and save up to $2,000 with the energy tax credit plus our madness discount. But the clock runs out at the end of the month, so call today.
USA Insulation.
It's spring break at Bob's, and I'm introducing my biggest, bestest backyard collection ever. Soak up the sun in outdoor furniture that comes with indoor comfort, quality, and of course, my everyday low prices. Rock and recline on Bobapedic memory foam seating. Defy Mother Nature with weather-resistant wicker, rust-proof frames, and UV-resistant fabric. And make your backyard more fun and functional with stylish accents and accessories. You deserve a break. Spring break at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Dan Kelly is extremely corrupt. 6 times Kelly ruled in favor of a plaintiff with close ties. He was on their advisory panel. He took contributions from their board. And all 6 times, Kelly ruled in their favor. Another time, Kelly changed his mind about whether to judge the Zignego case after pocketing $20,000 in contributions from the Zignego family. Corruption, extremism, that's Dan Kelly.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy a furnace. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase a furnace and an air conditioner at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
In today's Final Touch, an Oscar award is creating a tourist boom in India.
It's all thanks to the documentary The Elephant Whisperers. The film was named Best Short Documentary at Sunday night's ceremony in a first for an Indian production. The documentary, which is streaming on Netflix, follows the story of a couple in southern India who devote themselves to caring for an orphaned elephant and explores the bond between humans and animals. And it's this baby elephant, Raghu, the star of the film. Tourists are flocking to this elephant camp in southern India to see the star of the film. One tourist said, "We have come to see Raghu, the Oscar-winning elephant." To watch a documentary on Netflix. It's awfully good. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.